Hello, viewers. Hope all of you are fine and enjoying good time. Today, I brought you a very useful video, and this is about making a management plan for your patients. My name is Dr. Raja Nadir Jalal, and I am going to discuss with you how we can make an effective management plan and get high marks in our PLAB 2 examination. So let's go to our slides. First of all, I want to discuss with you about the assessment criteria in PLAB 2 exam. So for data gathering skills, there are 4 marks. And for management skills, again, there are 4 marks. And for interpersonal skills, there are 4 marks. So 4 marks for each. And in data gathering, history taking, examination, and initial investigations are included. The main point to note here is that the criteria is about your skills. It is not just about history taking. It's not just about management, right? So you have to show your skills, just not taking history, not just taking history or just collecting information without any purpose or doing management without any plan or any sense of how you can deal with all the issues. So in this video, I am going to talk about management skills. I have made 6 videos about interpersonal skills, and you can watch those videos and can get benefits from those. And I have also made a video about history taking skills, which all of them are very useful for your PLAB 2 exams. We also need to acquire marks for management skills, and for that, we need to impress our examiner that we have some idea about how we are going to manage our patient. So let's go to uh, our video, and in this video, I am going to discuss what are management skills, and I will discuss a simple structure of a management plan, then how to develop an effective management plan, and then I will also discuss how you will discuss your management plan with your patient and sometime with your examiner. So first of all, a simple a simple structure of a management plan you should know for discussion of your treatment or management with your patient. This simple structure is just that you start with giving your assessment or your diagnosis, then you give your treatment plan. For example, whether treatment is needed or not, you are going to treat patient at home and you are going to discharge your patient, or you're going to make a referral, or patient needs an admission. Then next step is that as a junior doctor, you you will inform your seniors and do routine investigations, initial basic investigations, then supportive treatment. So you can say that at the moment, I'm going to give you like painkillers, oxygen, anti-sickness medications, things like that. And then comes specific tests and management. So for this, you can say that after this discussion with my senior, we may start you this medication or this treatment. Then you will give some lifestyle advice and explain future care plan, maybe some changes about conditions at home or involvement of social services or occupational therapist. So you have to explain these things, and you will do some safety netting and arrange follow-up appointment. So this is a simple structure which you need to follow in your scenarios in your exam. But for a good management plan, you need to think in a broader sense. You need to look out of the box. So I want to discuss how we can make a good and effective management plan. And first of all, we need to know what are the basic principles. So basic principles are that you are going to manage a global situation. You have to recognize issues, and then you have to think about these issues, and then you have to make an individualized management plan. So these are basic principles which you need to keep in mind, and you need to practice these principles in your uh, discussions about your management plans. Now I'm going to discuss a little bit details of these basic principles. So first of all, what is managing a situation? So keep in mind that you are not managing a diagnosis. You are actually managing a global situation. What it means that you are managing a series of issues which you picked up during your data gathering, and you should bring back all those issues into your mind before making a management plan. And you need to demonstrate that you are able to understand the situation as a whole, and you can prioritize the issues and manage them in a way that benefits your patient the most. Remember that prescribing medicine is just one part of management. Coming to recognizing issues, how we can recognize issues in a case. So this can be done through skillful data gathering, which includes smart history taking, careful listening to a unique story of each of your patients, and extracting useful biopsychosocial information, exploring patients' ideas, concerns, and expectations, finding out why the patient is presenting now, finding out the patient's lifestyle, beliefs, cultural background, and abilities, and finding out how the symptom is affecting the patient at work or at home, doing relevant examination and investigations. And after that, you will be able to recognize issues, and you will be able to formulate an individualized, safe, and effective management plan. I hope you got it now. Next step is thinking about issues. I will try to explain this by giving you an example. Think about a newly diagnosed diabetic patient. What the issues can be? He needs medicines to control diabetes. He may be worried about losing his kidneys because his uncle, who was also a diabetic, died of renal failure a few years ago. He may be concerned about his job because he is a bus driver, and he may be living alone, doesn't cook at home, and eats out most of the time, burgers and chips. So, these are the issues. All these issues you must pick up during history taking, and your management plan should address all of these issues. Your skill is to demonstrate that you recognized and understood 3 or 4 issues in this case, and you are able to fit these into your management plan. These are the management skills. Next is individualized your plan. Your management plan should not be one size fit to all type. Again, remember, you are not managing a diagnosis only. You are actually managing a global situation, an individual. For example, 5 patients with diabetes will not benefit from exactly the same management given in any textbook. Every patient has a different lifestyle, different circumstances, different range of risk factors, different issues, making it essential that the management plan should be differently tailored depending upon the individual needs. The management plan should never be a generic one. I hope after this discussion you have got some idea what is a good and effective management plan. Now I am going to discuss that how you will discuss your management plan to make it a shared management plan. This is a very important requirement uh, of uh, discussing or giving a management plan to your patient or telling to your examiner. So you need to reach a shared management plan. So the things which I will discuss now, these these are not steps. These are the points which you need to keep in your mind. So you have to apply this information during your consultation, during your discussion with your patient about the management. So again, basic principles are that using golden first minute of your discussion, sharing your management plan, involving patients in decision making, and giving options to your patient, negotiating an agreed plan, and concluding the discussion. And I will go into a little bit detail of each of these. So, what is golden first minute strategy? In prior to exam stations, the biggest issue is time management. It will take so much time for talking about everything, such as medical treatment, lifestyle counseling, explaining about complications, safety netting, and addressing patients' concerns, isn't it? So, within a couple of minutes, you will have to do everything. You will be talking on your own without checking understanding of your patient. In other words, you would not be able to make a shared management. Therefore, use the strategy of the first golden minute and prioritizing. Another thing is that asking your patient what they want to discuss first is also a helpful strategy. So, golden first minute strategy, what does it mean? It means that use the golden first minute of management to demonstrate that you understand what this case is all about. What are the issues? And show your priority list to your patient or to your examiner. For example, if you picked up 4 issues in a diabetic patient, all of them are very important and need to be discussed in detail. However, you need to prioritize the most important to talk about first. So, how to manage your time? Answer is by using the golden first minute. Highlight and prioritize all the issues in the case so that the patient and the examiner know that you are aware of the issues. With this technique, you can show that you know about all the issues. So there is no pressure on you to rush and come back to other issues. So please use the first minute smartly by highlighting all components of your management plan. I, I, I am going to explain this with an example. So, say for example, there is a patient, Mr. X. You can say that Mr. X, there are a few things we need to talk about. But the number one is to get you on some treatment. There are a few tablets that I tend to talk about early on, how they work and what their side effects may be. We also need to have a quick chat about your diet because the things you eat really impact your sugar level and have a big impact on your diabetes. We will have a quick chat about how we can help you with that. Regarding worry about losing your kidneys, you are right, it can happen if diabetes remains uncontrolled for a long time. However, there are many things which we can do together to prevent such complications. We will discuss how to reduce the risk. Finally, your worries about your work are certainly very important to talk about as well. We might not be able to go through everything today. Let's go through one issue first. Let's go through about treatment first. But don't worry, for any issue which will be left, we can make another appointment to discuss it. So, by this way, with this strategy, you have all the issues on the table, and your examiner or your patient knows that you are aware what the issues are. So, this is a very, very useful strategy. Now, coming to sharing management. So, first of all, summarize briefly and clarify the plan of care as I discussed in the first minute, golden first minute strategy. Try to be clear, concise, and avoid medical jargons. Tell your patient what you think the problem could be. You can explain causes, seriousness, expected outcome, short and long term consequences. Provide information on action or treatment offered, steps involved, name of the medicine, how it works, benefits, advantages, and possible side effects. And most importantly, in sharing management, you have to use chunk and check technique. What is it? You say a couple of lines and ask any questions, Mrs. X. Couple more lines. Does it make sense? Couple of more lines. Are you with me so far? So you are keeping your patient involved and checking his understanding. You can invite questions to clarify things, but remember never speak too fast and never speak non-stop without giving time to your patient to get involved. So this is how you share management. How to involve your patient in decision making. After sharing your thinking and ideas, allow time for the patient to digest information, express emotions and concerns, and give them opportunity for questions. Encourage them to contribute their thoughts, ideas, suggestions, and preferences, and try to integrate this information with their beliefs on what it may be. Involve the patient by making suggestions. Just give suggestions rather than give directions. And ask about patient's support system and discuss other support available which patient can get. Another important thing is giving options to your patient allows them to be involved with the decision making process and leads to a more satisfying outcome. Discuss options with your patients. For example, no action is needed or no non-drug treatments such as self-help measures, physiotherapy, psychotherapy, counseling, preventive measures. Tell your patient all these options are available. Tell your patient that treatment at home or referral or admission or investigations or medication or surgery, these options are available. And but giving option to your patient is something different. So giving option means that for example, you can tell your patients lifestyle changes versus medications, because sometimes we need to try lifestyle changes first before starting any medications. For example, in case of insomnia, it is very important to make lifestyle changes, to adopt sleep hygiene measures, and if those are not of any benefit, then we can discuss about the medication. So give this option to the patient that it is better if you can make lifestyle changes. Another thing is that telling your patient about doctors versus patient's role, that there are things which you can do on your part and there are certain things which we can do for you. And another way to giving option is that what the patient wants to be discussed. You can say that these are the 3 or 4 important things I need to talk about. Where should we go first? In this way, you are allowing your patient to get involved and make a decision and discuss the things what the patient wants to be discussed on priority basis. And another important management skill is negotiating a mutually acceptable plan. So encourage your patient to make choices and decisions to the level that they wish. Check if they are comfortable with the plan. Ask if questions or other items to discuss, and encourage questions about the discussion about any anxieties or negative outcomes, and accept the patient's views and advocate alternative viewpoint as necessary, and make sure all the ideas, concerns, and expectations have been addressed. Finally, encourage patients to take responsibility of their care as well and be self-reliant. So you have to negotiate a mutually acceptable plan. After all these discussions, you will conclude the consultation by safety netting. Provide your patients a safety net explaining possible unexpected outcomes, what to do if plan is not working, what to do if symptoms worsen, or explaining red flag symptoms to look out for, when and how to seek help. Safety netting is very, very important. You can also give leaflets and handovers to your patient, and follow up. You may book a review appointment for the patient. So this is how an effective management plan can be made, discussed, and you can get high marks in management skill criteria. So guys, hope this video is of benefit to all of you, and I will come back with other useful videos. So subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button, and see you guys next time with more information. Thank you very much. See you and bye bye.